I get new messages every single week from women who tell me that they are dating a married man. They're trying to get this man away from his wife, and they want my advice on the situation. This isn't new. I've been receiving messages like this for years now, and I've seen some patterns that I think that you should be aware of before you get involved with a married man. And so I want to make my position very, very clear here. I am totally against you dating married men. And so some women are going to say, well, Matt, what about married men who are just separated, or, they're in a sexless relationship, or things are really going bad in their relationship? I still recommend that you don't get involved or date a man like that either. And I'll talk about some of the patterns that I've seen over the years from women who have dated married men and what happened with them in those situations, and why I suggest that you avoid it at all costs. Hello, my name's Matthew Coast, and welcome to my channel. Okay, so let's talk about this. So what are the different reasons? I've got 7 of them here. The first one is that you really can't trust his story. So why is it hard to trust a man's story who is married and he's telling you? Usually it involves this long story about abuse, or he's being neglected, or there's, something going on that's really kind of destructive to him. And here's the reason. It's because lots of men and women say that there's a whole bunch of things going on, and that's fine if those things are going on, but he's probably not going to leave his wife for you, even if there's a whole bunch of different things going on. And the reason is because he's getting the best of both worlds right now. He has this reality world that he's in, which you have no idea what it's actually going on there, right? And then he's got this fantasy world that you're in, and he gets to keep both of those, right? This reality world where he has a family and a wife and all these things, and this fantasy world that you are in, because that's what you have right now, is a fantasy world. And he's getting both of them, and he's probably not going to end up moving over to the fantasy world for a bunch of different reasons that I'm going to mention next. And so reason number 2 is that he is in a very messy situation. So you don't want to date him because there's so much mess going on. One of the things that I recommend is that you stay out of messy situations to the extent that you possibly can. You don't know what he's been saying to his wife. You don't know what his relationship is actually like to her. You don't know what he's been saying to his family. You don't know what other red flags there are, because he's got a giant red cape. He's wearing a big red flag suit, and he's dancing around in front of you with this red flag suit, and you're ignoring it. And there's probably a whole bunch of other red flags behind him, but you're so mesmerized by this red flag suit, and it's so interesting to you that you kind of ignore all the rest that's going on behind him. Let's talk about number 3. Number 3 reason why you should not date a married man is because he has a deep connection to the woman that he's still married to. And so you are setting yourself up in the absolute worst position that you possibly can. One of the things I talk about in my Forever Woman program is putting yourself in a position of power, or a position of value. And what that is basically setting yourself up so that men are competing for your time, your attention, your love, your commitment. And so they're fighting each other to get you. Well, you're doing the exact opposite. What you're doing is there's a guy, and he's already got some competition there for you. And it's not fair competition because they've been together for a long time. It could have been years. And you're entering this competitive race, and the other runner in the race is already at the finish line. They've already passed. And so the most probable outcome that you're going to experience from this is that his wife is going to find out about you. And then he's going to dump you like you never existed in the first place. You have to compete with him compete with another woman for him automatically. And it's the worst possible situation that you can be in. He's far more likely to stay with her than he is to leave her and be with you, just because of the deep relational bond that he has with her. And maybe this is kind of fun and excitement because something is, bad is going on in the relationship right now. But that's all it is just fun and excitement. That deep, lasting bond that he has with his wife is there. And what you need him to do is prove to you that it's over there in order for you to have anything with him. And that's what my suggestion is that you make him prove it. And we'll talk about how to do that in a minute. Number 4 is that you're the other woman until he gets divorced, which he probably won't. And so you can't be public about what's going on. Probably you'll have to be his dirty little secret. Everyone's going to talk smack about you behind your back. And if you're like most women, of the women that I talk to who are in this situation, you'll be doing this with him for years while he promises to leave his wife, preventing you from actually going out and finding a good man because you're stuck on a guy who's completely unavailable and who's probably not going to leave his wife anyway. And so you're stuck on this dude, and Mr. Right is out there going, where's the woman that I've been looking for my whole life, right? And you're stuck, right? You're stuck with somebody else. And so you don't want to be stuck with the wrong guy when Mr. Right's out there looking for you. So number 5 is that you'll need to constantly make excuses for him. And so he won't be able to dedicate himself to you because he has other commitments in his life already, namely his wife and his family that he already has. And so you're not going to be a priority. And so you're going to end up being put on the side. And so you're going to have to practice saying a whole bunch of things. There's a bunch of things that you'll have to practice saying. And here's what they are. There'll be things like, she doesn't make him happy, or he doesn't actually love her, right? So you'll want to you're going to end up saying those things a lot because he's going to ditch out on you on different things, and people are going to be like, what happened? We're going to be like, oh, well, he's still with his wife. And then you're going to explain, he doesn't really love her, make her happy, all that kind of stuff. And it's just going to be painful for you. It's going to be painful for your friends and family. They're going to look at you and be like, oh God, why is she doing this? And you don't deserve that. So my suggestion is that you don't do it. So number 6 reason why you shouldn't date a married man is that if he's cheating on his wife, you'll eventually become the woman that he cheats on. And people live in patterns. And his pattern is that when things aren't going well in his relationship, he looks outside the relationship to get his needs met. He doesn't end things. He doesn't fix things. Eventually, you will become the woman that he's with where things aren't going well. It's going to happen, right? It happens in every relationship. There's ups and downs. You're not going to be on the ball. There's going to be stresses that come up. Things are going to come up in life. And then you're going to have a stress in your relationship. And he's already proven that what he does when there's stress in the relationship is that he looks outside of the relationship to fulfill his needs. And he's doing that with you now, and he's going to do that with another woman in the future when you guys are together, if you do get together, which you probably won't, because he's probably not going to leave his wife for you, because most guys don't. That's just a fact. And so what you want to do is you want to make him prove to you that all of that stuff is over with his wife. And the way that he does that is by getting a divorce. And so you want a divorce to be finalized before you start dating him. And my suggestion is that you just leave him alone until that happens. So number seven, and the most important reason is because you deserve more than that. You deserve to have a man who commits himself to you fully. You deserve someone who will be loyal to you and only you. You deserve someone who makes you a priority now and in the future. And if he wants to be with you, he needs to leave his wife. He needs to get a divorce. He needs to prove that he's not going back there. That should be the absolute minimum requirement. Ideally, he should be divorced for a while before you even date, because a lot of times, even after a divorce, guys go back to their wives, their ex-wives, and end up getting back together with them. And so my suggestion is that you don't do it. I'm going to go over the reasons again, all 7 of them here. Reason number 1, he's married. Reason number 2, he's married. Reason number 3, he's married. Reason number 4, he's married. 5, 6, and 7, they're all he's married. Okay, so don't date married men. Just stop it. Stop it for your own sake. Stop it for my sake. I'm tired of hearing about it. I mean, I get it. You fall in love. You get attached. You get involved with him. You know, some guys aren't upfront and honest about it. They won't tell you that they're married when you first meet them. Well, when you find out, it doesn't give you an excuse to continue seeing him because he lied to you at the beginning. Just stop it. Just stop dating him. Stop seeing him. That should be a giant red flag in the beginning, right? He's married, right? He lied to you about the fact that he's married. That's going to be another woman in the future and he won't, but if he ends up leaving his wife for you, that's going to be another woman that he cheats with, who he lies to, and you find out about it. That's what's going to happen. That's where you're going here.